Well, that takes us nicely off to our final topic of the day.
Ooh.
Ike Perlmutter is on the fucking warpath.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he really is on the warpath. You have to remember, ladies and gents, that this is incredibly rare for Perlmutter to be discussing anything publicly like this, to do interviews like this. Very, very rare. One, because he's one of the singular individual largest shareholder of Disney stock, right? He is one of the largest as an individual holders of Disney shares. He has $3 billion worth.
Yep.
$3 billion worth. So everything he says now loses him money.
Yep.
It actually loses him money, and he fucking knows it.
Yep.
And he's still saying it. He is absolutely on a warpath against Bob Iger right now, and Disney in general. I've got to give this to you, Culture. You sort of lead the way on this, mate, because you've sort of done a video on this as well.
Yeah. Look, Ike is the whole reason Disney has Marvel. I mean, let's be fair. He sold it to them.
Literally sold it to them.
Yeah.
Let's take that one step further, Culture. Ike is the reason we still fucking have Marvel.
This is also true. Yeah, we would not have Marvel without Ike Perlmutter. Correct. It was in the turlet.
He's also one of the largest shareholders of Disney. You know.
Yeah. And to Mr. H's point, he's a billionaire. And every time he opens his mouth and he risks the stock price, he's eliminated his idea of being self-invested in this. But from the article here, I mean, do you want me to read this, or do you want me to dive in? How do you want me to approach it?
Yeah, I mean, just get some of the highlights, basically. I mean, sort of
well, I mean,
what you know about it, and we just discussed.
Okay, so Ike in particular is very vocal. He is a businessman through and through. He's vindictive, he's old school, and he's pissed. And he's not the only activist investor that's now going to be activated against Disney. So in the context of all of this, he told Disney, don't do these things. It's going to cost us, including the issue with the Parents' Rights and Education Bill in Florida. He said, do not go political. And they did. He said he is along the way said, we need to stop what we're doing. We need to be more cost considerate. We need to consider profit over box office numbers. And he's 100% right. Box office numbers don't mean anything if it costs you $450 million to get the film, out and advertised. It doesn't make you money at $1 billion to do that. Hey, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah. So you're completely right. He reiterates how he's a bottom line man. He's a businessman. It's a case of profit, expenditure versus money coming in. Is it making money? Is it actually making the company money? It doesn't matter how big the box office takings are if it's not actually making the company money. And he says, and he said long in parts of these interview with the Wall Street Journal, he said, I've long said that they need to bring down the budget of the Marvel movies because they're too big. They don't make that much money, which is what we've been saying for a very long time, ladies and gents.
Well,
but this is the interesting stuff. No, just real quick. This is the interesting stuff because again, he literally he shits all over Disney. He goes, I've long expected that my working relationship with Disney would end, that it should come as a result of my trying to help Disney improve its business should sadden many shareholders as it does me. So this is him reaching out to other shareholders, by the way. Make no mistake. The company's largest individual shareholder. So he is the company's largest individual shareholder. Despite my employment termination, I will continue to hold my shares of Disney. And this is the fighting talk. And continue to seek improvements at the company for the benefit of all stakeholders. Remember, ladies and gents, he's the fucking reason Nelson Peltz got involved, and there was going to be a proxy war to out Bob Iger. Perlmutter said his desire to see costs cut to improve efficiency was why he supported Peltz. It is that approach to Disney's operations that has formed my support for this triad in seeking to restore the dividend, to fix the company's inflated cost structure, and ensure a successful CEO succession. So this is all about the Nelson Peltz thing. But yeah, what do you make of that? I mean, that is fighting talk.
Well,
that is him literally calling out other stakeholders.
He is, and he's saying specifically here, I'm working against my own financial self-interest in the short term to benefit myself later in the long term. And I'm doing that in an effort not just for myself as a shareholder, but for all shareholders, which is basically what the company should have been doing in the first place. I mean, and it to be fair, he's 100% right. I mean, we've all been talking about this for a while. This guy he's gone bonkers. And I think Mike sent a super chat that feeds right into that.
I was just about to say as well, I had literally only just occurred to me. He released this interview, timed it perfectly, a day or two after what happened. The annual shareholder. I literally didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but he's done it immediately after that. And Bob Iger got fucked over in that shareholder meeting.
Oh, he was
absolutely obliterated. But then he's done this interview as well. An incredibly rare thing. Ike does not do interviews. He doesn't. So he's come out, done this, fight and talk, and then he's gone, yeah, all shareholders, you should be worried.
Yeah.
The single largest shareholder, I'm worried. But I'm fighting you back, basically. I've got you cornered.
And again, I mean, this is of course, compared to the internet, the institutional shareholders, it's not really a drop in the bucket. But if you get enough of these guys involved and invested, and they get more shares from the regular retail holders like myself and others, right?
Yeah.
That's a large pool of votes. It's gonna make everybody a little bit nervous, you know?
Yeah. Mexican R-Man for $5 says, for Mr. Perlmutter, who owns $3 billion worth of stock, this is a super thermonuclear for him to have specifically released a written statement to Wall Street Journal. You can't stress that enough.
No.
This is huge. And Mecca J again for $2 says Ike has 0 Fs to give anymore.
Yeah.
But he does and he doesn't, right? Like, this is fighting talk, but it's also a case of, like, you have annoyed me so much. I tried, you didn't listen. So then we tried to do the proxy battle. You didn't listen. You then fired me. You then got rid of me. Now I'm back with a vengeance, is what's happened.
You got to imagine it's not about the money anymore, right?
No, for him,
he's fucking richer than rich.
Yeah.
What this is about is his legacy and what they're doing to the company that, like we were saying, he brought back from the brink. Like, people don't realize how bad a shape Marvel was in at one point. Like, they made those Marvel deals where they licensed out the Punisher and Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and all those guys. They were next to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sony's never going to give up those rights. Sony's never going to give up those rights.
Well, he also chimes in a little bit here, right? So he said that despite his employment termination, he would continue to hold his Disney stock and seek improvements for shareholders. I wish only the very best for Disney. Again, he's calling out the stakeholders. Yes. I wish only the very best for Disney stakeholders. Its employees around the world, its millions of devoted fans and customers, its brilliant creators and contributors, and its many shareholders like me. I will continue to advocate for actions that secure Disney's long-term financial health and allow a new generation of management to reverse the trend of failing shareholder equity and return the dividend to its prior level.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Culture. If he's no longer an employee and he's now just a shareholder, he can say whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
And he was still working with the company. Despite the fact that he was a very elusive gentleman. At that point, I'm sure he couldn't badmouth the company, but now he can say whatever he wants.
Yes, that's exactly.
So them letting him go was their biggest mistake.
Well, I'm sure that Iger was doing a calculation in his head. He's like, okay, if he says anything, it works against his common interest, his self-interest, because it'll cost him financially, as Nate was saying at the very beginning. Yes.
Never underestimate somebody who's got money to burn.
And pissed.
Yeah.
The guy is pissed. He's been pissed for a while since they pushed him out into a different division, Marvel, Entertainment, rather than being in charge of what Feige was doing, because he didn't want Feige there anymore. He saw the writing on the wall. Feige was wasting money in the production of these films. They were making films that he thought, maybe not should have been made. And while he may have missed on one or two of those ideas overall from a financial aspect, beyond that, he was 100% right at everything else.
He was mad about the X-Men deal.
Yes.
And people look at it from one perspective just because of the way he overreacted on certain things and what he did to the X-Men in the comics. But they weren't looking at it from the perspective that he was pissed because that deal didn't make them any fucking money.
Nope.
That's why. Like, that deal was made before he saved the company. And he's looking at it as, this is the most popular comic book on the planet right now. and we have no access to any of its money, right? Yeah. We got the fucking lousy copies of the comics, and that's all we can fucking sell. Yeah. You know, like, I don't even know what they had for toy rights at that point. Like, that was the other thing that really irked Ike Perlmutter, was when they gave away the toy rights to fucking Spider-Man to Sony.
Yeah.
They finally got him back, but anyway.
This is, yeah. You got to remember, Ike has ridiculous sums of money. He doesn't care now about this. He's done. This is all fighting talk. And I thought, what a great way to end the stream on that note, because goodness me, absolute gold dust. That really is. Absolutely.
I wonder what would happen or how it would fare to Disney's stock if he just sold all his
Well, it should tank it, because he would sell it. Yeah, it would tank it, wouldn't it, I think?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
If he started selling, wouldn't that cause a run culture?
No, but at the same time, I mean, he wants the leverage he has. Right now, he's sitting on a lot of leverage.
He wouldn't sell it. Exactly. Yeah. But I'm just saying, he could tank the company if he wanted to. But if he wants,
and somebody in the chat mentioned this is Machiavellian language. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, he's an old school cutthroat business guy. I've been saying this since, when they fired him. I'm like, this was a mistake. This is a miscalculation. Iger's been full of them lately, and he did it verbally on the freaking annual shareholder meeting. I've never seen a bloodbath like that. You want to talk about the layoffs at Disney? The bloodbath in the shareholders meeting was Iger was trying to get up off the mat at points in time. And look, some of the best analysis I saw was with Tom and Andre and Mexican Iron Man, and with Valiant Renegade and Mexican Iron Man and
well, we've got a video on the second channel, actually, so links in the description box.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So please do check it out.
Indeed, I've never seen that, and every time we talk about this, Nate, I'm like, if we are seeing this, high level investors are paying attention, and I mean, again, we're blessed with all the beautiful minds we get to stream with, but look, we've been calling this out for a while. The wrong direction Disney has taken, the move against family, the Western culture, all of that, it's cost the company money. It's cost shareholders
a lot of money.
They're billions and billions of dollars. I mean, and again, with what Iger said the other day, somebody suggested $1 trillion. Would that surprise me? That losing Reedy Creek and now calling Reedy Creek and Disney the same thing, that misstep in the shareholder meeting, it's incalculable how much damage has been done in the last couple of years to the company.
Just in the last couple of days, literally last couple of days, shareholder meeting, and then Ike Perlmutter, last couple of days, are absolutely wrecked. Final super chat of the evening, ladies and gents, from Magitech Mags. For $5 says, Iger's ego certainly didn't save him this week. He couldn't help himself, and now DeSantis could have a case against him and pissing off Ike. Yikes. 100%. 100%.